You're wondering if your relationship is going to last because things just don't feel right. Well, stick with me because in this video, I'm actually going to give you the signs that your relationship is falling apart. Hey guys, Renee Slansky here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a dating and relationship coach and I help women from around the world create the relationship that they desire and deserve. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have a lot of value to give. Now I want to talk about what to do when you feel that your relationship is kind of not really working out. And if you're watching this video, it's usually because you've got second doubts about where your relationship is heading. Now, divorce currently is at 43%. It is hard to keep a relationship together, but it is not impossible. But what I want to do in this video in particular is I actually want to just start giving you the signs. Because if you can recognize the signs earlier on, there is a chance that you can actually repair this relationship and make it strong once again. So here they are. The first one is this: your communication is poor. Communication is the glue of any relationship. And if you have stopped talking to each other, you're not really getting into deep, intimate conversations, or you're not sharing the joys of what's going on in your day with your partner, or maybe you're finding that there's just a lot of miscommunication, then you're in trouble. What you need to understand that the first thing you have to do in order to be able to give yourselves a fighting chance is to focus on communicating better. Now, building strong communication basically means that you don't wait to talk about things when you feel comfortable. You have to learn to be able to just talk about things even if you don't want to, and even if you are fearful of what their reaction is going to be. If you don't have strong communication in a relationship, I can guarantee you that your relationship will continue to disintegrate. Number two, there's probably going to be lots of conflict and it doesn't really get resolved. Now, conflict in a relationship is incredibly healthy because it helps us grow. It's a part of communication, and it means that each person is able to communicate what it is that they want and desire, what it is that they're not happy with. But if you have constant fighting in a relationship, full on yelling at each other, or maybe it's passive aggressive, then it's going to bring a lot of anxiety, and it's also going to bring probably a lot of resentment and unforgiveness between the two of you. So of course you need to be able to start to solve that conflict between you. Get to the root of what that actual issue is. And again, that means talking about it, or at least trying to see a counselor, or working out what could be that one thing that seems to always cause the fights all the time. Number three, intimacy will be lacking. Now, this doesn't just mean physical intimacy. It also will mean emotional and mental intimacy as well. Chances are, if your relationship is falling apart, you probably won't be feeling as attracted to that person, or they won't be feeling as attracted to you. And so you won't be having sex or kissing or being affectionate as what you normally would. This gap will happen between you, all right? Because when we're actually physically intimate with someone, we build this connection with them and our souls touch their souls, and that's why we feel close to them after we've had sex, okay? So if you're not being intimate, if you're not being affectionate, you're not touching each other, and you're not being emotionally vulnerable with each other, then there's definitely going to be some sort of divide. Now, the key here is to actually make an effort. And if you don't feel that you're ready to be intimate with your husband or your partner, then just start with being affectionate. Start with emotional intimacy. Start with talking. Start with being open and vulnerable about how you feel and what you love about them. Start pouring appreciation on them. Start focusing on the good rather than the bad. And start almost buttering them up a little bit, and then slowly maybe kissing them once a day or hugging them a little bit more, and start to get them comfortable and familiar with you reaching out and being intimate again. And then eventually, if you can, have more sex, and have it even if you don't feel like it. Have it because you know it's actually going to do your relationship a benefit. Number four, you lead separate lives. And this is something that is really, really sad. What happens is, if we are both growing, but we're growing in different directions and at different rates, we're going to be making decisions that don't include the other person, and then we'll learn to just be totally independent of them. And then we end up leading separate lives, which means that we don't feel that we need the other person, or whenever they try to contribute something, we become defensive because then we assume that they're trying to control you, or we assume that, what they have doesn't add value to what it is that you've you've already worked out yourself. Again, it's about creating some sort of unity, whether you have a common goal or whether you have something that you do together once a week, so that you feel that you're on the same page, so that you can reconnect and you can actually have something that you're building together as a team. Number 5, you are indifferent to them or you don't miss them. They say that the opposite of love is not hate, but it's actually indifference. And if you're not actually feeling anything for them, or they're not really feeling anything for you, and you'll know because A, you won't really miss them, and B, you won't be excited to see them, and C, when they do something, you just kind of won't care. Like, that's called indifference, and indifference is a really scary place to be in, because it's harder to get the feeling back when you've gone to a place of indifference. At least if you've got that passion because you're angry at them or you're a little bit bitter, you can almost focus and switch that energy into love instead. But if there is indifference, it means that you kind of have to try and feel something for them again. So what I suggest here is to focus on what you do love about them. Make a list and then start speaking love over them, even if you don't feel. A lot of the time, the reason why relationships break down is because we base it off how we feel rather than what it is that we should be doing to keep that relationship strong. Make choices and daily decisions that you know will help increase feelings and that you know will actually show actions of love. Then focus on that rather than focus on trying to change how you feel. Number 6, you're both unhappy. I mean, gosh, that's a huge indication if your relationship's falling apart, because you're just not enjoying it and you're not happy. And people will probably say to you, you don't look happy with John, or you don't look happy with your husband or whoever it is that you're with. And you will know, because you will have this deep sense of dissatisfaction, and there will be a lacking of joy within yourself and also within your couple as well. Of course, this is about putting joy back into your marriage, and one of the simplest ways that you can actually do this is start doing things that are fun. Start going on activities, start doing adventures that actually force you to work together as a team, and start focusing once again on the times that you actually were happy with them, and ask yourself, well, how were we both at that time when things were going really well, when there was joy, when there was excitement? Have you fallen into a routine? Do you need to have more intimacy? Do you need to just do things that are more fun? Have the children taken over your priorities of romancing each other? Ask yourselves, what did we do back then to make us so happy, and how can we do it right now again? Number 7, there is no future talk, and that's because you can't really see a future with that person right now, or you don't really know what's going to happen. You know, don't really want to address the future, and you just kind of like go, oh yeah, you know, this, because that's also your focus as well, because you don't actually know if there is going to be a future. I think when we have a goal, an idea of where we want to be, if it is with that person, and we start to talk about it and we start to familiarize ourselves with it, what it does is our brain starts to trick ourselves into believing that we do have a future with them. So if you're able to sit down with your partner or your husband or whoever it is that you're with and actually start to set some future goals and set what it is that you ideally want to do, even if there's ambiguity around it, it gives you something to work towards. It tricks your mind into believing that this can work, that it will work. Automatically, our decisions and our mindset start to do things which get us to that future goal in the end. Number 8, there's no peace or progress. The two biggest indications of a healthy, thriving relationship is peace and progress. And if you don't have either of those things, then your relationship is in trouble, unfortunately. So this is about, again, resolving conflict, understanding what the deep-rooted issues are, and actually doing something about it. Now, don't confuse movement with progress. You can be going side to side and not going anywhere. You can be going backwards and not going anywhere. This is about making sure that you're doing something on a daily basis consistently to be able to get to the end result that you want. Now, if your relationship is falling apart and you're coming to watch this video now, hopefully you've caught it at the right time so that you can start to repair it. But if you feel like it's been happening for a while, it might take a little bit more time to actually try and restore that relationship. And all I can suggest is being consistent with what it is that it actually takes to be able to make your relationship strong again, and then just give it some time. Number 9, you don't have any unity and you don't have any common goals. This is again leading back to what I said about your leading separate lives. This is really simple. If you want to start making your relationship strong again and you don't want it to continue to fall apart, have some common goals together and actually actually have something that unifies you outside of kids, okay? Or outside of a business if you're running a business together, okay? Make it something fun, make it something exciting, and make it something that actually puts you on neutral territory. Because when you're in neutral territory with each other, it means that you both have to work together as a team. It means that you're forced to work it out together. You have to be a team. You have to be unified. Otherwise, it's not really going to work. And lastly, number 10, you don't spend quality time together. Now, you might think, well, yeah, we spend every Friday night. We go on date nights. I have known couples that have been in marriages for 15 years and then it's just all fallen apart. And they've come to me and they said, yeah, but Renee, we went on a date night every Friday night. The difference is you had quantity time together, you didn't have quality time. Quality time is about putting away distractions. It's about focusing on each other and prioritizing each other. So try and spend some good quality time together 1 to 2 times a week where you're really focusing on that person and your relationship. And one of those times can involve some intimacy and the second time can involve something fun. And I guarantee it's going to really help your relationship. Well, that's it, guys. If you want to know more, I do have a free ebook on the number 1 thing that it takes for relationships to be really strong. You can download that in my bio below. In the meantime, if you have any sort of questions on what sort of videos you want me to do, please put it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.